Hello. Today we're going to be discussing community-based drug rehabilitation, its current situation, and current gaps in policy and implementation. Today we're joined by Attorney Buck Labastilla. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, hi, I'm Sikini Labastilla. My nickname is Bok. I work for the city mayor of the city of Caloocan as the executive director of its Anti-Drug Abuse Council.
Okay, great. Can we get a little bit of background on the current policy space surrounding community-based drug rehabilitation?
Okay, the short answer to that is that it's not provided for in the law. So there's a big gap there. There's a lot of memoranda being issued by the Dangerous Drugs Board for the let's say telling the LGUs to activate their own ADACs, and even the barangays to activate their own respective BADACs. But this is not found in the law, RA 9165, Dangerous Drugs Act. So this basically a do-it-yourself kind of thing that's LGUs have to come up with just to comply with that memorandum.
Okay. What about the other agencies that are involved? Because this is a multi-sectoral, multi-agency issue, it kind of requires a lot of different organizations to work together. What's been your experience with that?
Right. So it just came up in the news now. The lead agency under DDB, as mandated by the law, is the PDEA, which is the Philippine equivalent of DEA.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be the focal point of all matters involving illegal drugs. So PDEA, through the DDB, has access to almost all the agencies of the government, health, social work, local government, what do you have? Even the labor office, the employment office, what else? Community relations.
Okay.
So we do what we can to copy that that relationship between PDEA and all those national agencies. We try to copy that in our own ADAC.
Okay. So when you say we, you're meaning your city anti-drug abuse
Yes.
council.
So we set up shortly after President Duterte came to power. We scrambled to form or activate the ADAC of Caloocan, much just like almost everyone else. By doing that, we thought of which agency would be able to help us the most. We started with health and of course social work, and then the other departments just came along. For livelihood, we need a lot of help from the it used to be called the LIRO, Labor Industrial Relations Office. It's now the Employment Office. It's called PESO. And but this is from the LGU side.
Okay.
The other end of the other side of the coin is of course the civil society, and specifically the church, which has been very active in forming these responses based on community.
Okay. So you mentioned working with the Department of Health and Department of Social Work and Development. Do they have any policies now regarding your community-based drug rehabilitation program in Caloocan that are helpful or hurtful? What can you say about their support?
Okay. Department of Health was one of the first to respond to the need. In the law, RA 9165, the law does not recognize kinds or levels of addiction.
Okay.
either a user or you're a pusher or a big-time drug dealer. You know, it doesn't say if you're a a shallow user or
Like an
occasional
experimental
user,
user, okay.
experiment. So DOH was the first to come up with that in their initiative and trained as many persons as they can per LGU, especially in the NCR on the methods of screening, let's say, users. Because at that time, there was a need to do that because a lot of people are supposed to be surrendering.
Right.
So we needed to categorize which one are the hard cases and which one can be treated outpatient. And after DOH, I think so it came up with a screening seminars, but funny enough, it has not until now come up with a memorandum.
Okay.
It's not in writing
From the DOH.
from DOH.
Okay.
DILG at the same time was just let's say following DOH's lead, and same with social work. Until now, there's not a single document from these agencies which tells LGUs what they should do in case of. So it's still up to the LGUs to come up with their own, based on their maybe the kind of need that they have. Until there was a planning seminar a few months ago, they came up with in the Regional Prison Order Council of the NCR, they came out with that memorandum how a CVRP is supposed to be done.
Okay.
So there's a minimum standard now, at least for ACR cities.
Okay. As a member of the Caloocan Anti-Drug Abuse Council, what can you say between the relationship of the city of Caloocan, you as the CADAC, and the barangay?
Okay, so the membership of CADAC includes barracks. Okay, so each barrack is supposed to have their counterpart, supposed to be a mini-me of CADAC.
Right.
So, and we did that specifically in Bagong Silang, the biggest barangay in the world. And so we have committees. Let's say for the rehabilitation committee, the education committee, we have the livelihood committee, even the fundraising, and of course the enforcement committee. Enforcement meaning gathering the names that should be in there. So there's that, and so I'm supposed to supervise or monitor at least how these barracks are responding, whether how active they are, how much money they're putting in their in these programs, and what kind of action plans they have. So I'm supposed to collate these and submit them to DDB.